Alright, this tutorial today is going to be for Rascal Flatts' song Here Comes Goodbye. And this song is in the key of D, so it's going to have two sharps in it. It's going to have a F sharp and a C sharp. The notes in the key of D are D, E, C, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and then back to the D. Alright, so those are the notes in the key of D, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, the intro is pretty simple. It's basically just played over a B minor chord. So you're basically going to play the 1, 3, 1, 2, and 3 of the B minor chord. So this is your B minor chord. You're going to play the 1, which is your B, your 2, which is your C sharp, and your D of the B minor chord. And you're just going to roll over that like this. That's all it is, 3 times. Alright, once you've got that, you're going to start walking down the scale and go from the D, C sharp, A, F sharp, G, B, A, to the F sharp. You can also do a little grace note right there between the A and the B, where it goes like this. I like to add that in there every now and then. And then you just play that over again, and you can change the octave too to give it a little better sound. So if you start out low, the second time you can raise it up an octave. And you stop on the G. Alright, the left hand for the intro is basically just simple chording. You're going to be playing start with the B minor, and instead of playing the full B minor chord, just take out the 3 to make it a little simpler. Just play the 1, the B, and the 5, which is the F sharp. Walk down to the A with the 1 and 5, the A and the E. Walk down to the G and D. Then go down to the D chord. And this chord you're playing, instead of playing the 1 and 5, you're playing the 1 and the 3. You're playing the 1 with your thumb, the D, and then the F sharp with your pinky. Alright, so it's going to sound a little something like this when you play both together. That's it. You play that over twice and that's your intro. The first verse is simple. It's basically the same chord just about as the first as the intro. So it's basically just the B minor. I can hear the truck tires down to the A coming up, the G, the gravel road down to the D. And it's not like her, the B minor, to drive that slow A when nothing's on the radio, down to the G. Back up to your B minor, and I'm playing an inverted B minor here. Footsteps on the front porch, inverted A. I hear my doorbell. Walk down to the D over F sharp, play your F sharp in your left hand and the D chord in your right hand. She usually comes right in. That's the comes right in is just your E minor chord. You can play the octave if you like. The E minor 7, which is the A, D, E, G, and then you can walk back up. Now I can, basically a D chord with an over an F sharp. Now I can tell over the G. Chorus, there's different ways that you can play the chorus. I like to play it starting out with a B minor chord. Some people can also like to play it with just basically a G major 7 chord, which is basically a B minor chord over the G chord. So you can play it either way. You can either play it with Here Comes Goodbye, or you can Here comes goodbye. Either way is fine. Here comes the last time is just the main G chord. Here comes the start of every sleepless night, which is just the D chord. Then you go down to the flat 7 chord of the scale of the key, which is the C major chord. So you're going to here comes the start of every sleepless night, the first of every tear, which is your C. I'm gonna cry, which is your E minor 7 chord. Here comes, you can walk up with a D over F sharp. Here comes the pain. And then you're going to do a walk down from the B minor. Here comes me wishing things, down to the A would never change, and down to G, and she was right here in, which is the D over F sharp, my arms tonight, which is E minor 7, and walk back up to the D over F sharp, to the G, but here comes goodbye. Then play your intro. Alright, one thing I like to do after each intro, I like to play a G major 7 chord, which kind of gives it a little pop. You can play, I like to play this inverted, and I like to roll down the chord. So I play my B, G, F sharp, D, and I like to just roll down like that real quick. So it sounds a little something like this at the end. Verse 2 is the same thing as verse 1. It's the same exact chords, same exact progression. I can hear her say I love you like it was yesterday, and I can see it written on her face that she had never felt this way. One day I thought I'd see her with her daddy by her side, and violins would play. Here comes the bride. Back to the chorus. Here comes goodbye. G minor. Here comes the last time. Down to the G. Here comes the start of every D. Down to your flat 7. C. First of every tear. I'm gonna cry. E minor 7. Here comes the pain. Here comes me wishing things. B minor would never change. Down to G. She would be right here in my arms. D over F sharp tonight. E minor 7. D over F sharp back to the G. But here comes goodbye. Okay, and then you go into your bridge from there. The first chord of the bridge is basically you're just going to have your G major chord. Why should it go from good up to the A, then up to B minor to gone before the lights to your G turn on and you're all alone. A is an inverted A, all alone. You can play this either way, however you want. And you're all alone. Then down to the flat 7, which is your C chord. This is where he sings his little run. E minor 7, and down to G. And this is the lead-in chord for, this G is the lead-in chord for the going back to the chorus. To where you can start back to the Here Comes Goodbye. The outro is basically the same thing as the intro. So if you want to remember how to play the outro, I'll play it one more quick time for you. But it's basically the same exact thing as playing the intro for the song. And there I like to add the major 7. Gives it a little more flavor when you add that major 7 note there, that F sharp. Alright, so that's the piano tutorial for Here Comes Goodbye by the Rascal Flatts. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped. Leave comments, and hopefully there'll be more to come.